Oh, she believes in
My
me.
mom and my dad equally both
okay,
believed in me,
but-
so it was
all right,
critical.
But memory's there with 6 children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you realize you get to go out?
So does she.
Oh, you make sure she does, because
She goes out
I
every
can
day.
understand when women say, "I'm in need of adult conversation."
Yeah. No, she has more. She has more than enough of that.
But 6,
Yeah.
and she homeschools.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you? But anyway, let's go back to when you met.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know? What were the telltale signs when somebody's looking for a mate?
Yeah. She. It was a combination. She was very. I'm very serious. I'm a very serious person, and some people say I need to kind of laugh at myself more, and I do that occasionally.
And also obsessive, because when I knew you, I
Yeah.
prayed for you. I was concerned for you. You were getting older. I thought you're never going to find a wife, and all you were doing was flying out to go here, flying out to go there.
Yeah.
In case we don't know, we're talking with Joseph Sempervivo. 12 million cookies a day they produce, he and his family. Anyway, but Joseph's like cookies. But and you were always going. What's that show you went on? All the time.
QVC, CNBC.
Yeah, you're always
CNN.
going off to do this stuff. And I thought, does he not know that that's not really quality living that much? I mean, I understand it's fun to fly and stuff, but, don't you find that? Go ahead. No. Which is better, that life or the life now where you're living with your 6 children and you're here almost every day of the year now? You travel
there's no
a little
comparison. This life is 10 times better.
Yeah,
I hate it. I hated traveling. I was on the road 26 days a month.
It was
getting back to
your friend. It was like
getting back to your original question.
Your wife.
I knew Memory for years before we dated, and
She was like a family friend or something.
no, I knew her. Well, I knew her whole family, and. Keep in mind there was this giant age gap, so it's not like we could communicate at all.
So you knew her when she was a little kid.
She was 12.
And you were an adult.
Yeah. I was 25. And so there was, obviously nothing. I was working as a state police. I met her mom when she was 12 years old, and her brother was 14. But I knew
you had no idea.
No.
Here's this little kid here. Having no idea that she's going to grow up and become this lady, and you're going to marry her one day.
Yeah, and then I knew her grandfather. I knew her uncle, who's a state senator, and we had dinner together. I didn't know they were related because the last name is different, and so all these years go by. Memory's 18, working at a dry cleaners, and I was in town in New Mexico for one day only. I had my mom and my dad with me. They were there, and they were there for a couple weeks. I flew in to see them for a day. I went to go drop off my suit and to pick it up an hour later. When I went in there, Memory saw me coming in, and she's like, "Oh my God, oh my God!" I have my beat up Honda CRV with 140,000 miles. I get out and I'm walking in, and she's, "That's Joseph. That's Joseph. I want him to be my customer. Everybody stay away from him." And so I went there, and Mem was jumping over the laundry and said, "Remember me? Remember me?" I said, "Oh my God, how are you?" "Of course I remember you, Memory." So, so we just started talking, and I said, "What are you doing tonight?" And she said, "Oh, nothing." She had a whole bunch of stuff to do. She was in college and a sorority and was working and babysitting, and also.
And you're there. You're away from home. You don't have any gal in your life. You're probably feeling lonely. Here you're traveling.
Yeah,
you
I was
go,
dating,
"Hey,
yeah.
I know your family want to get together," and you're just thinking,
"Oh, just to hang out for a
socially.
cup of coffee." Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went and got a cup of coffee. We talked. Went for a long walk for like 3-4 hours.
Now, okay,
we
wait
talked.
a second now. When did something switch?
2 years later.
Oh, not even that night.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I flew back into town.
Okay.
Every month or every other month.
And you guys would get together for dinner and just be friends?
No dinner. I wouldn't take her out to eat. I had it.
Because a woman must construe that as...
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't.
I never knew that women, you see these movies, I take women out to dinner. I never knew that they among themselves go, "Well, dinner, then you got to do something with the guy."
Well, my wife wasn't like that anyway.
No. But I'm talking about in the world, there are people that actually believe that.
Well, yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. So you wouldn't take her out to dinner. Why, though?
Because I wanted to spend quality time with walking and talking, just to talk.
Not in some noisy place where you can't hear each other.
Yeah, and my life was so intense with business all the time. The one funny thing, though, Memory said to me, when we got engaged, she never knew I had a cell phone. She never knew it because I always had my cell phone off. She was the only person in my life that I ever shut the cell phone off and left it in the car. To the point she never even knew I had it. I put it in the glove box when I was with her. But there was nothing romantic. I was in town.
Well, that in and of itself is.
Yeah, but that, that, like, as most people say, like when I'm with them, like you and I meet, everybody says, it's just one-on-one. You give me your undivided attention because I'm not on the cell phone when I'm talking to you. If you get on your cell phone, I just do it to be, a meanie head. I pick up my cell phone. But I want to give you my undivided attention. Well, anyway, with Mem, 2 years later, I came into town for a couple of days. I was with my mom and my dad in a Honda CRV. I was screaming on the top of my lungs as I was driving with the windows down.
What?
The song Live Like You Were Dying by my fraternity brother Tim McGraw. So I'm singing this song and I see two girls walk out of the mall.
Do you know Tim McGraw?
No, I took Mem backstage with him and Faith Hill. They serenaded our group. We had about 20 people back there, and they serenaded.
I was backstage with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, and guess what? He was out there at Opryland. That's the night I interviewed Garth Brooks. Well, guess what? I'm standing next to this lady. She doesn't have any makeup on. I'm going, geez, she looks familiar. I never realized until I said, oh my God, that was Faith Hill.
So anyway,
people don't look the same live,
So I was screaming this song on the top of my lungs, and my dad was singing, my mom was singing, and Memory, I guess, saw me pull up. I saw that it was them and just drove around. Didn't even think anything of it. I went around the mall, the park. They ran to their car and drove around. Well, now talk about divine intervention. So we parked the car. We go into the mall. I walk my parents into the mall. My mom says, "Oh, Joseph, can you run out to the car, honey? I forgot something." I ran out, grabbed her purse, brought it in, or whatever it was, and it was eyeglasses because we were getting our eyeglasses fixed. Ran in. My dad said, "Oh man, I forgot something." So I ran back. I put my needle bag on the seat. I ran back to the mall, gave it to my dad, and then I forgot my needle bag in the car. I ran back.
Needle bag? Oh.
This black bag for my diabetes.
Diabetic, okay.
So I run back, grab my thing, and here comes screaming around the corner this car, little orange, we call it the pumpkin, this orange car, and she starts honking the horn. I look and I see her sorority letters on the front plate. I was like, Memory? And she's like, Joseph. So they parked. And her friend says, her and her girlfriend, who was in our wedding, Del Rey. And they parked and we started talking for a couple of minutes. And Memory's girlfriend says, you're single, Memory's single. And I said, hey, so Memory, what are you doing tonight at 7 o'clock? And she said, oh, nothing. And I said, okay, great. Then I'll pick you up. And that was our first date, but it wasn't a date. I just figured we'd go out and have coffee.
But this girl had established something here by saying, oh,
yeah.
you single.
And
neither one of you brushed that off.
Yeah. And
Are you thinking now, wait a second.
Hanging out like we always did.
And you're 30.
Yeah.
Aren't you thinking, maybe you're rocking the cradle here?
No, because
I would never, as a guy, let's say suddenly I was single now, I would never be able to ask, the younger woman would have to let me know she had an interest.
Well, here's
because I would feel like some creepo, what do they call dirty old man?
Cradle robber or whatever, yeah.
And by the way, dirty old man, I hate to tell you folks, but a man is more interested in more important things as he gets older. I mean, not that it can be that too,
yeah.
But it's not like on the top of the list like it is when you're younger.
So,
if you catch my drift.
I just thought about hanging out with her like I did the last the last couple of years. Whenever I was in town, every now and then, we'd hang out. It might be every couple of months whenever I was in there.
Yeah.
But, so what happened was, we went to the university. We got our coffee at the same coffee shop we ever did. I'm a creature of habit, very loyal. Okay. I went to Milagro, and then we walked across the street to the campus, and we walked until 4 o'clock in the morning.
This is all in where? In Mexico?
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Okay, and then that morning at 4 a.m., laying on the grass on campus, we shared a kiss, and that was it.
Who initiated it?
Oh, me, of course.
You did?
Yeah. And so
you didn't feel like a dirty old man? She's 18 and you're like 30?
33 now. No.
Come on, man.
No, there's a big age gap with my parents.
13. Well, you're 15 years older than her.
13. I was 30. Well, then it depends on the time of year, but 32, and she was 20. No, she was 20 then. It was 2 years later. So.
That's right. It's 2 years
yeah.
later. Okay. So now 20, she's becoming a young lady.
Well, but she was always advanced, way beyond her years. I mean, just at 20 years old, the way she thought was not like a typical.
You kissed her.
That was it.
What happened?
I knew she was going to be my wife. It was instant. Matter of fact, I went home. So on our way out to the car, she says to me, "So what time do you want to go to mass tomorrow?" She says to me, and I was like, "What?" Because we were talking about the Catholic Church and stuff. What time do you go to mass normally? I said, "I go to the 11 o'clock mass." She said, "Okay, great. I'll see you there." And so we went to mass. That was our second date. Mm-hmm. And afterward, I told her girlfriend was there. I was like, "Hey, ma'am, why don't we go grab lunch together?" So her girlfriend and myself went and had lunch. Mm-hmm. And I canceled my trip flying out. I was only in town for 3 days. I canceled so I could be with Mem. And every day from that day on, we spent every day together. I canceled all my trips, all my business trips. So I could see her. Within 90 days, I proposed, and 90 days after that, we were married.
Now 6 children.
Yep. And I just knew. I went to my mom. Here's the funny thing: she was living at her grandpa's house. My mom and dad. I went home that morning. I got home about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and from the university, and she told her mom and dad, "Joseph and I kissed. He's going to be my husband." I told my mom and dad, "I just kissed my wife." And she came up to the hotel where my parents and I were staying in Las Cruces. She goes, "I want to meet your mom." My mom and dad were waiting outside for me. She goes, "I want to meet your mom and dad." So she jumped out.
What do you know? I want to hold right where you are.
Yeah.
Why, when I hear these stories, like I'm sitting over here going, "I could cry right now." Now, why is it that we cry about the marriage thing?
Because it's beautiful. It's sacred. And it's a confession to everybody.
They say it's a foreshadowing of our eternal relationship with God. Jesus marries his bride and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You wonder, because I'm thinking, well, why am I so always? I'm a boohoo kind of guy. Always I go to weddings, I cry. I used to sing at weddings, and I had a hard time. I used to sing, "He's now to be among you at the call." Hey, we're paying you to sing the song.
This is such a beautiful song. Oh, it's true love.
You know, so I'm sitting here right now going, why do I feel like crying? Because it's just, wow.
It's beautiful.
Like it's like the hand of God, but it is sacred. You're right. It's more special than, okay, well, you're going to be my friend and we're going to commit together forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like something beyond.
Well, I mean, I
interrupted you. You're not going to forget where you were.
It's the best decision of my lifetime because.
Okay. So where were we?
I don't remember.
I interrupted you.
You always interrupt me.
Would you please make a mental note the next time I interrupt you?
So, I just knew at that point that I was going to marry Memory.
You went home and told your mom.
Yep, told my mom and dad. But when there was a lot of different indicators, like to answer your question, that you really know that person is the one. And for me, I wanted a loving, jovial, just playful person who was loyal and honest and loving and so with Mem.
Hard to find in today's world.
Yeah, and they're out there. So if you're concerned, don't worry about it. They're definitely out there, and I think that whole population is swinging back to the traditionalists.
It always comes back.
Yeah, but anyway, I flew into while we were dating. I flew into the airport in El Paso. It was an hour away. I told Ma'am, I called her. I said, "I'm sorry, I can't come to Las Cruces." She said, "Oh, don't worry, I'll be there." Now, she's taking her exams, final exams. She stops everything she's doing and drives an hour away to the airport, this big city, to see me. And we hung out, we talked. And that was just kind of reinforced everything I already knew about her. Yeah, and when my uncle died, my dad's older brother, Memory's like, well, the funeral's in Philadelphia. She's a full-time student working 2 jobs. She said, "Hey, look, when are we flying out to Philadelphia?" And that's just the kind of heart she has, and she had when we were dating. So I knew that she was a really special person.
All right, we got now 6 children, and of course you got your cookie company,
Yep.
and he's Joseph Sempervivo. This is the Mayor of the Airways. Got to take a break. We'll be back. It's not over yet.